This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock.
Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and I'm here with a public service announcement that it is not over. The bans may be live today. Fires of Invention and Agent of Treachery are gone. But if you think that you're done dealing with Jeskai Lukka, I think you're wrong. So, I haven't played this deck yet. I'm about to. I just have this theory. I have a theory, you guys. Nobody's ready for Dream Trawler. I don't think the aggro decks will be ready. I don't think the control decks will be ready. I think there's still going to be more Deafening Clarions out there than Shatter the Sky. I think there's still going to be a lot of nickel and dime, like, sacrifice control decks that just can't do anything about this frickin' card. That's the plan. Same deck. Almost the same deck. All cards you saw in Jeskai Lukka before. We lose Fires, we lose Agent, we add Dream Trawler, we bring back Shark Typhoon, or add a few Elspeths. We don't have to change much. This card is absurdly powerful, and 2 Dream Trawlers are just as likely to kill you as 2 Agents. So I'm curious to see. You may have hated Agent. How long will it be until you just want Dream Trawler out of your format as well? We're sticking to the 80 card Yorion example. I don't know if Yorion is still worth it. I'm very curious to see if we actually play Yorion at all during these games. But 80 cards, I mean, these are all good. You don't have to cut anything. And this is just free in the very, very late game. The new companion tax, you can see the text right there. And it says you may pay 3 at any time you could cast a sorcery to put the companion into your hand. I don't know if I'll ever do it, but I may as well keep this around. Why not? Because I still have 80 solid cards. Other than that, you know what all these cards are, what they do, how they work together. Lukka with a token becomes a Dream Trawler. Just guaranteed in this deck because we have no other creatures. And this deck is just a straightforward cannon gamble that on day 1 of the new format, everybody is singing Ding Dong, the witch is dead. And I'm saying the witch is still right here. So let's see if we can go smash it up in Mythic with Dream Trawler instead of Agent of Treachery and the Lukka Coppercoat Outcast Jeskai list. Let's dive in. Let the very, very evil nonsense begin. Opener looks solid with Birth of Meletis, Clarion, Narset. No companion from the opponent could mean anything. Let's see what happens. Alright, a mulligan. I like leading on the Triome. I don't know what I would scry to the top or bottom yet because I don't know enough about my opponent. So if I have 2 tap lands to choose from, I choose the one that scries later. Let's get the birth down. What do you think? Team of Reclamation is probably the new hot kid on the block with the bans. Double blue. We have a mono blue gamer. One way to find out. Result.
I train every day. No one is more prepared. Meditate.
Another Narset and a Typhoon. The Typhoon's very hard to counter and might draw us into a land if we end up missing a land drop. Cutthroat. It's a bit of a tilt that it's running into a wall. The opponent definitely hating being on the draw. Alright, 2 life from the birth. We're probably doing a Clarion here. The opponent will probably counter it. The other thing that we could do is cycle a Shark Typhoon and not give the opponent anything to counter. If they don't have another play, it could leave them in trouble. But then we'd have to discard, I think. No, we play a land. No, we won't have to. I like using the Narset first, then trying to use the Temple to stack the top of my deck. So, Lukka, Birth is kind of another land. The rest of this is redundant with other things in our hand. Of course, multiple Lukkas makes getting Dream Trawler much more possible. And I don't really want to cast Birth much, but I guess they do have creatures that are on the ground in this this Brineborn Cutthroat. Alright, let's put pressure on the opponent to use a counter spell. Or not. Temple. We're looking for land. We found it. Things are good so far. Sailor is here. Anything else? Throw an octopus on that sucker. That's frustrating. That's very frustrating. But they definitely have to attack the Narset here, or drawing extra cards won't do them any good. And we can set up a Typhoon to ambush them.
My mind needs a rest.
That will leave them in a tough place, because if we play anything else, it's likely to get countered. So I like saying go here, trying to ambush their octopus with a Typhoon. If they use mana on their turn and try to interact with it, maybe we can resolve Lukka and make a Dream Trawler. Alright, they hard cast an octopus. Alright, they're feeling strong. They know about this. And they'd have the Brazen Borrower. Okay, looking good for them. Looking good. Teferi. Ooh, Teferi's pretty good. They're going to get an extra card here. They'll only have 2 mana available. Mystical Dispute, Quench, those are the things I'm thinking about. That plays around both. Or blue, I think is just fine. What you got? Okay. Double? No, no double. Alright. Send you home.
Oh, I've done the hero thing.
And we'll see if the opponent has another borrower to interact with this wall. If not, they may have to overextend to hope to attack down the Teferi, which walks in to Shatter the Sky. Wow. Alright. They have done a good job drawing cards that they need to stay in this game.
We will meet again.
So we can play Birth, get a land, and then Shatter, but that doesn't play around Quench. Do we need to Shatter here? The Sea Dasher Octopus is on the ground. This is going to come out, then they're going to mutate onto it. That flies. I think as long as we have a Narset out, we're pretty safe. Because then they have to attack it to get rid of the extra cards. We can also... Well, we don't have enough mana to also play an Elspeth. I guess we can see if we can find another Teferi here. Alright, do we want to keep this on 5?
Like wind and wave.
Right now, from what I can see, the opponent can only attack it to 4. So I think we want to keep it on 5. One more Plains in the deck. Very Vandal. Okay. Well, they still can't kill Narset here. Like, they can hook up the Sea Dasher Octopus to attack it for 4, but they can't draw the extra card to pump this Vandal. And we know that they only have 1 card we can't identify. Another Teferi would be nice. Another Birth is definitely unnecessary at this point. How about another land? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess having another land does open up possibilities like Elspeth and Shatter the Sky here. But the opponent can just flash things in, making Shatter the Sky a pretty weak choice. So I'm just going to bottom both and try to find another Teferi, I think. Or, you know, land. Can draw some land. Let's send away Narset. We have a replacement one that we can go for.
Hone your prowess.
Another Lukka. Might be a really good turn to go for a Dream Trawler. The opponent only has 1 card I can't identify. Let's take the Lukka and go for it. Leave up mana for another Narset. Resolves.
I will
show the city of Dranith who the real
Go for this first. Make them counter without knowing what we might get, if they have one.
The focused and disciplined encounter no obstacles.
Alright, no third Brazen Borrower. Here's Dream Trawler.
can
How you
only
doing?
become Stronger.
So, leave this on 5? I think so. Here comes stuff. Spectral Sailor can draw here. Our set doesn't stop that because it's only the first card of this turn. Now next turn we can Elspeth for the next Dream Trawler, but one Dream Trawler is enough, turns out. Not quite what we were going for, but close. On the draw, this hand is incredibly slow, but it does have a beacon if our opponent is an aggro deck, and it has a Typhoon if they're a control deck. I'm really unsure about this one. The Fairy's a welcome addition to the team. Grixis? I guess I should... Well, if I guess they don't know for sure what I have here. Sort of holding priority gives away the Typhoon presence. But it could be an omen. Spinning Wheel. At 1 mana of any color, tap target creature. Funky. That's what we call Teferi bait. That is straight up, I'm going to Teferi that thing. But I'm sure it helps cast Bolus.
I'm known for my excellent timing. Don't worry, I got this.
You're gonna have to try that one again. We don't have a Lukka yet, but we can't just slam the early Dream Trawler right now, the way things are.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
Not sure what land I would even fetch with this Typhoon. Not Typhoon, Fabled Passage. Apologies. Elspeth is pretty solid against the Bolus plus. We can just get rid of a token if we choose to. Okay, opponent going with Narset on the manual taps here.
Going with thoughtfulness before action.
And hitting Chandra. Alright, we've got a Super Friend face-off. So, I can attack the Narset down to 2. I don't really have any other good plays other than making a Typhoon here. I could cycle a Triome. Like that, none of that is particularly inspiring. I feel like I should get the Narset off the field. Making more tokens isn't very good.
I will do my best to support you.
Because the Chandra can wipe them away. And now if Chandra comes down, wipes the field, we can make a 3/3 Shark. That can kill the Chandra. And then Dream Trawler comes down next turn. That will be a lot of pressure. Let's see how the opponent uses Chandra here.
My way. I'm burning up here.
Minus X is 2 on the Elspeth. Ouch.
My exploded.
Hateful.
Planeswalker.
I guess she ain't coming back. Alright, we have enough red. I don't really want to fetch white because of Birth, though. So we'll get this. Here's a Shark. We could ECD, but I think just slamming a Trawler is really good.
This might be a bad idea.
Just shock for it. I don't know what sweeper they have that will just get rid of the Trawler. They could have Extinction event for even. That would suck. But I still think it's just worth going for it here.
To embers.
That's the point of our deck, right? Here's a Trawler. Can you deal with it? Don't think the format is very well equipped to deal with Trawler right now. They can't spot removal this to prevent the attack because of the Teferi. So I don't know if they just had nothing to do or if they thought they were going to interact here. Let's try an Omen of the Sea. It pumps the Trawler further. Narset, Shatter. Definitely don't need a Shatter, but I'll take a Narset. Narset's not bad. So, Elspeth Conquers Death can get rid of the wheel if I want to, or I can just bounce this, replay it. I think hitting the opponent even harder with the Trawler to apply more and more pressure is good.
Try this.
The opponent might have their own shark. Do you think that's what we're dealing with here? I guess they make it for 5. I could have tried to take out the spinning wheel to keep that from happening. And I didn't. I guess I take that trade though. I'm going to gain 7-8 life. I'm going to draw a card. Everything about that is pretty good for me. Oh yeah, I forgot about this part of the wheel. Nice. The wheel has a function. CGB learning about the wheel. I mean to break the wheel.
I have just the trick for this.
The wheel has a function, guys. Who knew? Who had ever heard of this? Well, I mean, they got that over on me, but that's all they got over on me. I'm getting a strong mono red vibe. I guess I'll keep it. The land is really painful, but Omen into Shatter might be good. It's really slow, but we can't always have a 2-drop. This deck doesn't run very many. What I need is bacon. I need some quality bacon. Worthy Knight. Okay. Need some quality bacon off the top of the deck. What? Wait. Are we memeing? Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each charge counter on it. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, you may put a charge. This is another card that Teferi just laughs at, isn't it? It's the truth. You don't like it, but it's the truth. So, we might Omen ambush this. Why not? Every single opponent probably looks at what's going on here and is like, I thought we got rid of this. I thought we were done. Shadow Spear. No ambushing, I guess. You got me. You got me. Didn't play around the Shadow Spear. You got me.
Those who cannot proceed, meditate and prepare.
Larian. Lukka. Lukka, baby. Let's get that Dream Trawler. Yeah, Narset's just gonna die. We want to preserve the tokens. The mace. The mace with no counters joining the team. Smashing the Narset.
I have reached my limit.
2 mana open though. They could interfere with my Lukka effort. So should I play into that or not? They have 2 cards in their hand. It must be something that interacts with Lukka. Otherwise, what are they doing, right? I think I can wait another turn, minimum. I can definitely wait a little longer. If they have to hold up 2 mana for the rest of the game, I think that's okay for me. I can wait for Teferi. Just any kind of a spot removal spell blows out the Lukka, and then they get to attack it with the Knight, which takes away the best thing our hand has going. So we can just play this game of gain a little life, gain a little value, play a Dream Trawler, you know, the usual. You know, Mace is a lot better when you play other creatures in your deck. Oh my gosh, I feel got. Are you kidding me right now? What? By the way, Shadow Spear versus Dream Trawler, not the worst. Not the actual worst. Now I'm the one making all the creatures. Come on. This is so backwards, it's insane.
Must act swiftly and protect the innocent. Together,
Gameplay in
exact
Mythic.
justice.
I'm so confused. Maybe I shock and put Yorion in my hand there. I'm trying to be defensive of my life total. I feel like the longer this game takes, the better off I am. Oh, we're suiting up. Suit up that Shadow Spear, do it. Tapped out. Okay, we've been waiting for this moment.
Always loyal. Done the soldier's duty. Tools of war
I am proud of
surround
my
me.
comrades.
I know my responsibility. Here we go.
Looking okay. If I was gonna do that, I could have had one more damage with the other token that I exiled. I should have done one that was Summoning Sickness. My brain was just getting ahead of me again. Now I have to beware, right? How many Shatter the Skies do you actually run? I'm just gonna discard this. It's fine. There's the Shadow Spear. You got me. You got me. You had to wait until the ability resolved. They had to wait until the ability resolved, guys. They didn't let the ability resolve first. And that's game. That's game. Oh my goodness. What was that game? Did you have fun this match? I don't know. On one hand, it was a total cluster. It was definitely good for amusement. Okay, guys. Well, we lost another file to bad audio, so you get the recap CGB. Looking at a Hollowed Fountain, an Interplanar Beacon on the draw against no companion. I've got Birth of Meletis to be the third land, and Omen of the Sea to dig. There's Clarion and Narset, so it's good against creature decks and not creature decks. Our opponent comes out guns blazing. This is opponent Rambo 123. So if you don't know what Rambo is, because it's almost a boomer reference, Sylvester Stallone just goes into enemy territory with big machine guns and, you know, the American flag, and that's all he needs. A nice bandana, like he just massacres everybody. Our opponent very much owns the spirit of Rambo in this match. Now, this decision, quite frankly, one of the tougher decisions I can recall recently. And I even have to go to the thinking. I even have to go to the thinking effect on this one because it's really tough. So there's Birth of Meletis, right? And that can get me a Plains to make sure I have my third land drop. And then the next turn I could play the Teferi, gain one from the beacon, and bounce something and see another card. Or I could play Omen of the Sea. Omen of the Sea is likely to get me a third land, and it might even be a red land. It might even be a red land for the Clarion, which I might desperately need because of how aggressive the opponent is being and the fact that we're on the draw. But there is a fail state. There's a fail state with Omen of the Sea. And if I cast the Omen of the Sea and don't find any land, then the next turn is absolutely terrible because I can play Birth of Meletis and then hit my third land drop that way, but I have nothing on the battlefield. I get attacked to death, and even if I draw the red source the next turn for Clarion, it's too late. So this was a really tough decision of trying to Omen and figuring out just how much damage they could do if they had, say, an Inspired Veteran, and if they had Fight as One or Unbreakable Formation to hold up Indestructible if I gave them an extra turn. Like, there's a million things about this decision that are, quite frankly, really hard. And eventually, I decide that the Birth and the sure land drop next turn into the Teferi is a reasonable, probably good line, and I put my faith in the deck to deliver a red source. It's really tough because another thing I talk about is I don't know when I'm going to resolve the Omen of the Sea otherwise, at least not by turn 5. And the opponent full Rambos. Like, they set up the Corpse Knight machine gun, they set up double Vulnerable Knight. Like, there is just no holding back here. So bring out Teferi Time Raveler, the great instigator of hatred and destruction, and so many people don't like Teferi. And you know, M21 spoilers coming out. There's going to be new Teferis. I don't think the new Teferi that was spoiled is going to be nearly as frustrating for everybody as this Teferi, but anyway, we all know Teferi by now. Either you love him or hate him. I think most people just hate this version of Teferi, this card. So we draw the Fabled Passage. We know that we can have red mana next turn. Now we want to not die. The opponent throws everything at my face and lets Teferi live, which I'm really happy about. That means they can't play an instant speed unbreakable formation. It means that they can't play fight as one to protect their creatures. And for that reason alone, I think they would have been better off attacking the Teferi at least with 2/1/1s to get rid of it. This also lets me play Deafening Clarion at instant speed. And here I realize the opponent doesn't know I play red cards yet. They might be suspecting Shatter the Sky, maybe, but they don't know I play red, so I may as well slow roll the Passage Crack and the Deafening Clarion. The opponent does have an interesting pump spell. We can see them hovering over their creatures doing math, and they come in with Phalanx Tactics. This says target creature gets +2/+1 until end of turn. Each other creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Threatening a tremendous attack, but I realized that it doesn't make the toughness on any of their creatures larger than 3, so we let it resolve. Then the opponent skips to combat. And that means Deafening Clarion, 3 damage to your creatures. Probably an evil CGB could throw a GG right there. It would be rude, but it probably wouldn't be wrong. The opponent with a shock here and a cycle means they're going to have no pressure on the board. And it's honestly, when a moment like that comes up, it's cleanup time. And the flavor of it all is that Rambo pretty much went in with guns fully blazing. But unfortunately for Rambo, this time ran into the Clarion. Now we get to activate the Narset. Then we get to use Fabled Passage for Omen of the Sea. And with Dream Trawler on deck, it doesn't seem like things can go too badly. Blacklands Paragon at sorcery speed because of the Teferi, followed by Knight of the Ebon Legion, which is one of the things that isn't perfectly solvable with a Dream Trawler. The ability to gain Death Touch is a bit of a tilt. But we have Teferi on 3. We have a Teferi in hand that is fresh. We can bounce it for a few turns while we stabilize. So after shipping a couple of lands, finding a Birth, finding an Omen, I decide to minus my Narset just for the whiff. Oops. And then it becomes time to send a Dream Trawler. But the main thing I'm debating while I'm thinking about this is, do I use a Teferi bounce now? And I eventually come to the conclusion that I should Teferi bounce right now. It's just while thinking about whether or not we want to throw a wall and let the opponent have a turn of attacking with this Knight while our Dream Trawler loses Summoning Sickness, or what to do. And the opponent has seen enough of me thinking, and they are out of there. It is very frustrating, I know, when one player has a ton of options and the other doesn't. That is usually what brings me to the scoop zone, so I don't even blame them. People make fun of me for saying, why did they leave when I'm taking a while making my decisions? You guys are welcome to make fun of me, but I'm not oblivious, just to be clear. All right, just a little recap of exactly what to do that turn, which Teferi bounce, play Dream Trawler. From there, I'm sure the scoop would have happened anyway. And Rambo, better luck when you go in guns blazing next time. The hand has the tools. Let's see if our next opponent has what it takes to knock it off. The ladder. We are all tap lands on the draw. That could be a pretty big issue. I think what I'm going to do is try to scry to an untapped land with the Temple. Okay, never mind. Castle comes in untapped because this is a Plains. Red-green Paradise Druid. Okay. Trawler getting ready. So this doesn't play Narset, this line, unless we draw an untapped blue. I think that's okay. I think if we play Omen next turn, we're feeling all right. And then we can play Narset the next turn with Fabled Passage. Ooh, that is strong. Opponent coming in hot. Back-to-back Dream Trawler is not the draw. Not even a little. We'll prepare our Omen of the Sun. but we didn't answer the questing beast, which means it's probably just going to snowball from here and get worse. We could still draw Shatter the Sky. I guess that's our new best hope. And we have some life gain to keep us from completely falling apart here. Paradise Druid, more of that. Okay, more stuff that dies to Clarion, if we find that. And more stuff that dies to Shatter, if we find that. So we'll gain the life, we'll make the 1/1s to D up against the Paradise Druids next turn. I think what we do is play Narset, even though it dies to Questing Beast. That goes 4 cards deep, trying to find Shatter the Sky. And buying time for Dream Trawler, but it doesn't really buy time because the opponent still gets the pleasure of going face. We might also find a Lukka. Lukka would be very strong, just being Dream Trawler next turn and potentially the next turn and the next turn.
I know 88 ways to defeat, but thoughtfulness.
ECD is an answer. ECD is an answer. I do suspect they have multiple Questing Beasts, though. Most decks that run Questing Beasts run 4. The opponent with a Bone Crusher Giant, that's strange.
Focused.
The fact that the Questing Beast would have killed it anyway, it's not good. On their part, I would say. I think that they're supposed to go face. Maybe hit a token, but probably go face. My goodness. Alright. Now the mutants are here too. Let's see if they attack with this Gem Razor. We may have to exile that with the Elspeth Conquers Death just so our ECD sticks around. They're deciding whether to go after the Omen or the Wall, and they choose the Omen out of respect for Yorion. With the Companion Tax, I think I'd go after the Wall. But let's see. Maybe they have a different plan. I feel like we should just absorb this damage. We're taking so much damage.
I shall miss your company.
Alright, we don't want our ECD to get destroyed. So I think we have to exile that Gem Razor. Next turn might end up being Omen Omen. Just trying to stay alive. Ugh. It's tough. Down to 6. Under heavy Gruul pressure here, guys. Another Narset. They won't be able to play the Embercleave because of Elspeth Conquer's Death going off, right? Right. What's the play? I do think it's Omen and Omen, but if we're going to Omen anyway, we should probably play Omen of the Sea first. We might find something more useful. Untapped land, I don't think we'll need that. Birth of Meletis, not good enough. Okay. Scryland. Okay. Alright, I'd like to not die. What the hell, man? Alright. They just have it. Jesus. So frustrating. And I can't even block everything. Alright, I'm sure that's how they felt about me all day, right? This goes to 1. This goes to 1, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Any reason to absorb more than that right now? Next turn we're going to need blockers for this. Okay. Are you joking? So if I play this, I'm dead to a haste creature. Land Questing Beast is game over. But if I don't play it, I'm pretty dead on board, like close. Like playing a Dream Trawler, I can block this, gain 3 life, block here, and then I'm dead to the Questing Beast. So there's no choice. We need to somehow dodge a haste creature or damage. And the opponent's going to get to draw a card, of course. Those gem razors were just flawless. Kind of unbelievable. But just giving the Paradise Druids the upgrade, the trample, and the pseudo haste was enough. Yep, good game. Just, oof. Could I have done anything differently? At any point in the game, was there something I could have done to save myself 2 life? I don't think so. I think I did everything I could. I think I did everything I could. Interesting hand. With double beacon, I feel good against anything aggro, but the rest of the spells are slow, but I'm going to try it. On the play, I think I'll find something to do. That's not what I had in mind. I think that can wait. Okay, more land. Sure. Sure. Endless manas. Mono blue? That could be a problem. We can try to ambush this with a Shark Typhoon, but if the opponent has an Octopus right here, I think we just lose. Ow. So this is the second time today I've just run up against this exactly. Like, they just have Sailor and Octopus. Now, on the play, I beat it easily. And on the draw, I just think I have no chance. I guess I can try to draw Teferi right here, rather than try to worry about making a blocker next turn. Clarion works too. Alright, well, we hit a window. I have no chance, aka I drew Teferi, I win. Wow, the top 2 cards of the deck were just unbelievably perfect. That is so messed up. And Narset. I don't deserve it. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. Oh, don't say go. Don't say go. You won't be able to play any cards. So they play a Sailor. They have 2 mana open. I guess we just get Clarion, right? Instant speed Clarion. Yeah. Because they might go in for this Octopus to try to kill the Teferi. I think they have to. Which, yeah, that resolves. Dang. Can't win to can't lose. Quality commentary, quality Magic channel, everybody. What do you guys think about playing Elspeth Conquers Death? Just slam it. The tax next turn, and then the ability to get something back. Like, because next turn I'm going to play the Trawler, and then I can discard the Narset to the Trawler and get it back with the Elspeth Conquers Death. It might be able to hit an Octopus someday, but I just don't actually think that's going to matter. That game was silly. That game was silly. Mediocre commentary makes for great content. We go first with a variety of good plays, but 2 tap lands. Okay. We will see what happens. It might be all tap lands then Clarion. Turn 4 Clarion versus turn 3 Clarion. Not a huge difference to me, I think. So, opponent with Watery Grave. Grixis. Okay. Lukka in the house. Would we rather have the Birth going? Make sure that we hit our land next turn, or would we rather Omen? Always a good question. Omen's a really strong card, but I don't know when we're going to play the Birth if not next turn, but playing a flash game here seems fine. We can play the Omen this turn, play the other Omen the next turn, play the Lukka the next turn, probably. The wheel is back. This is the same person as before. Suppose so. Who else is going to be mad lad enough to run spinning wheel? All right, let's find Teferi to punish the wheel. Shut the wheel down. Hey, at least they came prepared for a Dream Trawler, am I right? Ooh, maybe we just want to curve out now. Nah, we can do better. We can definitely do better, though. How much greed is it to not take one of these lands? I'll take one. Typhoon. God, the sound effect for this. Why does this have a sound effect? I'm picking on the card. I know. I'm a bad person. All right. I think we make a shark. Just to really make sure that we hit the land drop. We may as well have our option. Have the option of a shark. If there's a planeswalker we'll want to play against it. Our set, sure. Try to keep an open mind.
My prowess is unmatched by my fear. I have just the trick for this.
Sinister Sabotage. So, Omen of the Sun, Shark Typhoon. Shark Typhoon gives us a better chance of drawing into the land we need for the Lukka. So I'm going to go with that. But they do have 2 mana. Something like Heartless Act could kill the token in response to the Lukka. But I guess that happens either way. At least this attacks Narset for 2. Keeps it from minusing next turn. Shatter. Untap land. Alright.
Interesting technique.
Try to get under Sinister Sabotage here.
I was trained by
Rawr.
evolution.
What did we show our opponent?
Advantage.
Just the whole deck. No biggie. This all is on the bottom now. Fun. Would you like to tap the Dream Trawler with your spinning wheel? Dead weight. I mean, we'll just discard one of these silly sweeper cards and gain hexproof. Opponent's going to try to hold up Sinister Sabotage here. So we don't get the bonus cards because of the Narset. Is there a way to remove the Narset first? No. Don't see it. Let's see if we can enter combat here and kill it. Alright, off the board. Let's see if we can resolve the birth. The opponent might want to counter it because it makes a token. If they do, Omen of the Sun will probably tilt them. It doesn't play around a sweeper, but I don't know what sweeper Grixis can pull together for this. Leyline of the Void. I will hand it. I will hand it to Merrick. Merrick knows what they're trying to beat. I don't know what it is, but they do. Shouldn't have given up on Grafdigger's Cage, though. Dream Trawler. It's a dreamboat. Back to rank 41. We hope we're not against aggro with this hand, or if we are, we hope we can find a Clarion or a Shatter with the Omen, because this hand is not good against aggro. But I think we'll keep it and find those cards. It is really nice to be on the play if you're going to keep a hand like this. All right. Opponent opening up with a Hollowed Fountain and Esper, Charming Prince. We're doing Yorion stuff. Maybe Yorion in the main deck stuff. I know they don't have a Yorion. But one of my suggestions for the Esper Prince loop deck was just put the Yorions in the main deck. 2 to the top. So how do we disrupt that deck? I guess Elspeth Conqueror's Death is probably going to be very important. Wow. Every now and then you're reminded just how much land it's possible to draw when playing a game. I mean, this is absurd. If I whiff because it's all land, you might hear me cry.
Meditate and
Not this
prepare.
time. So Elspeth Conquers Death should be important, but what about just getting a Dream Trawler? What about just getting a Dream Trawler? They might have Thought Erasure. That is a card. But I guess we have to try. So let's grab a Lukka, because if, at least if they Thought Erase the Lukka, it's in the graveyard to get back later. Opponent might be thinking, what? I thought we were done with this. I thought this was over.
You could use some training.
Second Prince. Okay, more scrying. Well, they kept on top twice last time, so they still know one of their top cards. Seems kind of a waste on the scry, but who knows. One thing that you can do is you can flicker one and then have it flicker the other so that you can scry later, like at the end of my turn, with more information. Just a little tip. I don't want to play Fabled Passage. I have 4 frickin' land on the bottom of my deck, at least. And then I guess there's an Elspeth Conquers Death there. Deck thinning is always a little overrated by everybody. Let's just threaten the shark, ambush one of these, get it dead. Although, I guess if I do that, the Lukka doesn't have anything to do. So I guess I'm not ambushing.
This was overwhelming.
I wonder if there's any grounds for Shark Typhoon. They're going to play ECD, so they'll just exile the Typhoon. So that's not very good. Alright, our opponent's cracking Fabled Passage. Plains. Third Charming Prince. Can't have enough scry. They've not scryed a single card to the bottom, so the scry isn't actively doing much other than letting them plan their turns, which so far has been very straightforward, honestly. So, I don't know. Also, if you're not using the Exile loop, then you're also not playing around Deafening Clarion. They do have 2 mana open. You can kill this. Never mind. Like keep your mana open if you're out there illy chilly. Make me think about using the Lukka, because I might have opted for a different play. Now we'll find out if the opponent is prepared for this.
War is I can do better than you.
It's a big trawler. A big trawler. On the downside, I don't have a way to make a token next turn to get another. So we're going to have to try to dig that up. But now the opponent's just going to attack down the Lukka anyway. Which I should have, I should expect that.
My crusade isn't over yet.
Alright, my turn. Looks like we're going to lock Trawler down. I've got plenty of stuff to discard. Return it to owner's hand. Well, I like keeping it on the field so I can use my mana in other ways. There's a Narset. So how best to play this? Part of me wants to get the Yorion into my hand and play Omen of the Sea, so that I can double blink those, but there's no reason not to keep using like Narsets. Keep my opponent busy. Pretty good card. But maybe what I'm supposed to do is play Omen, cycle Triome, things like that. I'm going to play this on main phase because it might find something better to do with my turn. Teferi Trawler. Wow. I mean, that's fine. Teferi protecting Trawler from those instant speed interactions like what happened this turn is really good. So we'll plus you because the princes would attack it.
More like it.
And now the opponent won't be able to interfere with the Trawler next turn unless they kill Teferi. And here comes Archon. I smell desperation setting in.
Stop that. Now!
How important is it to deal with the Archon? Well, let's attack with Trawler. The fleet of trawlers is coming. I think we just keep playing these until the opponent says uncle. I'll play this tapped because this can be a way to pump the trawlers at instant speed. I don't know if it's a worldwide reference. Making the opponent cry uncle is like... I think it's like some super boomer reference in America for making them tap out or concede.
Now what?
For the rest of the world. My dad jokes must be explained. Alright. So the opponent right now can double block one of the trawlers to kill it. I think we should try to... You know, if they do that, it's fine. We just play another. It's no big deal. Go. There's an ECD. There's a Shatter. They're coming in hot. So hot. Alright, just a chump. Cool. So, ECD this? Or play Trawler number 3. I guess if they randomly have a Shatter the Sky in their deck, we could get punished. It's not that random. People always want to add sweepers to control decks like this. Good game. So it wouldn't be too surprising if they flex spotted in a Shatter. We may as well play around it. 38. Moving on up. And we are back for the post-games wrap, and I think I proved my point. This deck isn't completely dead. Now, I faced some weird competition today. Grixis spinning wheel multiple times, some knights, you know, a little bit of nonsense going on in Mythic right now. This has to be played against Temur Reclamation. It has to be played against Jund Food. Those are the decks I think we have to respect. Bant Ramp as well. And we have to learn what's going on with those. But as far as just going places on the ladder, this deck definitely didn't slow down and didn't disappoint. 7-1 today, started at rank 114, finished at rank 38. And it's hard to beat that Dream Trawler, man. I don't think anybody was really ready for the Dream Trawler. Except the Knights player who shattered the sky. That player was ready. All right, so yeah, give this a try, especially if you use your wild cards on this deck and now you're feeling bad. It's not that different. The shell is almost identical other than getting the Dream Trawlers in there and running those interplanar beacons that I love in Best of One in your mana base. So yeah, go play this if that is your style, and we'll just wait. We'll wait and see how many people are complaining and begging for Lukka to get banned as well, or if this deck is fair and people will figure out how to beat it, which they could not do against the Agent version. Agent stealing lands was a big deal. Dream Trawler attacking you and being unable to be killed, but just drawing a bunch of cards and gaining a lot of life, that can be a big deal too. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video. Oh, for the Coolest Kids Club waiting till the end, yes, there are new M21 spoilers out there. They are being released right now as I'm recording, and we will talk about them at length on Twitch TV Monday through Thursday, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is when I am live. There will be a lot of spoiler talk. So if you want my take on spoilers, if you want to show me spoilers and get my reactions live, that is what I do on Twitch. Here on the YouTube, we continue to play games of Magic, show off decks for the current meta and environment, and have fun. So thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.